another opportunity to wake up in Kenya, in a world where so much is going on and so much is happening. And today I want to focus on one enigma. They've called him the enigma. They called him Jacom, the famous one whom they did Baba while you were away, you know, Agwambo, Raila Amolo Odinga, a one person who truly will forever be etched in the history of a nation called Kenya. When I was young, I think I heard about the failed coup of 1982 against the former President Daniel Toroitich arap Moi. And I know that by then I was such a toddler. And all I saw were young people on top of pickups, wielding guns. And I heard that there is a plan to topple the government, something that at that age I had no idea what exactly that meant. Only for later in history to come and be told that this man was part and parcel of that coup. And so as you grow up, as you understand a little bit of history and check out on civics, then you get to understand how some of these things do happen. But fast forward, and this is very, very fast forward to just Saturday, 15th of February 2025. And Baba was away again doing what? Fighting to win the helm of the Africa Union Commission chairmanship, you know. And many people felt like, in terms of having a lot of mixed feelings, many people felt like, wow, what a retirement package for Baba. Let him have that and be the leader that the country Kenya never got to have. But the big question here would be, why wouldn't Kenya elect Baba? How comes he would never get to the top of that position? You know, and a lot of discussions have been going on. So we said that if Kenya doesn't want Baba, then let's give Baba to the world. And this world here happens to be Africa. And so many people were excited. They said Baba is a Pan-Africanist. Baba has the history. Baba has what it takes. Baba has worked with so many people to be able to achieve some of the great things that he really needed to achieve. And so this morning, as I'm talking about it, some of the so many things that we are doing, we are able to move on and figure out, Baba, how do we do this? How do we make this happen? How do we shift things? How do we change things? And so at this very point, it gets to a level whereby a lot of questions have been asked. And so there was mixed feelings as to whether people were excited about Baba or there was animosity. And so if you follow back in history, you realize that has Baba made all the wrong moves? Has Baba never wanted top leadership anyway? Is Baba a control freak, somebody who just wants to move euphoria, mobilize people, and do all that for his own gain? How has Baba run ODM as a party? Well, the party has come out to be national and it has done a good thing by existing over so many years and rounds and rounds and rounds of elections, probably since 1992, just coming up into all these ways. Baba has stuck on that helm. But is ODM a transactional party? Is it regional for the sake of a certain purpose? Has Baba truly and honestly wanted to be the leader people expected of him to be? Or does Baba just use his charisma and euphoria to transact? It's your verdict. But what is my personal feeling? That if Baba truly and honestly wanted to be the president of this country, to lead this country to Canaan, that land of milk and honey, I believe Baba could have done it. Because a great leader changes his mind, a great leader builds a great team, and a great leader oversees a great strategy. Has Baba been able to mobilize people to give him a great strategy, to give him a winning strategy so that he can change the country for the better, the way he has convinced all of us that he can do it? Today, he is still called the father of devolution. And great, we have devolution. But if you do a forensic or a very quick analysis, what exactly has devolution achieved for this nation today after even the promulgation of the new constitution? 15 years later, what have we devolved? With the monies that have gone to the grassroots, to the county levels, 47 counties, what have we achieved? Just this morning, I woke up to a news that the government has taken an overdraft of close to 68 billion since December. You're getting that? Borrowing because government cannot meet its obligations based on the current taxes that it collects. Why that? Just earlier in the week, no, last week, we saw that the government or the cabinet had approved a 4.2 trillion budget for the year 2025-2026. And of the 4.2 trillion, only 785 billion, around about there, was earmarked for development. 3 trillion was recurrent expenditure. And if this is broken down, we came to see again that 2.6 marked for the executive. What does the executive need to spend almost 100% of the revenue that Kenya Revenue Authority, the collecting body, collects? Why should it all go to the executive? What is the executive doing with this money? Why can't it stay with the treasury for development? So now back to Baba. And the reason why I'm talking about all this money and the resources and things that are going around. I personally do not think Baba's interests are for the greatness of this nation. Today, Baba should have been standing firm and giving us a report of what devolution has achieved. Whether it's in his docket or it's his mandate or not, he is called the father of devolution. He pushed for this agenda, and thankfully we have it devolved. But what has devolution achieved today? How many governors are at the top of the list for collection of taxes or revenue at the local level and developing their own counties? Is it positive? Is it negative? And so, Baba lost the AU Commission chairmanship and people literally rejoiced. Why did people rejoice? It was two mixed feelings. One, which is on the negative side, is that on June 25th, we are almost going to do 1 year this year. June 25th, the year 2024, will forever live in the history of this nation, when young Kenyans went out to fight against the punitive. Why was the taxation punitive? Because the proposed finance bill of 2024 was going to adversely affect the people of this nation. And in one way or the other, looks like it still does, but young people were shot, massacred, called treasoners, terrorists, and the worst names ever from the top leadership of this country. Parents cried, mothers shed tears, because why would you unleash such terror on young people of your own country and to your father and to your parent yourself? Well, here we are today. And so at the top of that, I do not remember Baba issuing a stern, focused, and very objective condemnation of this. What do people believe? Instead, Baba went to bed with the same oppressors. And that is one thing I doubt Baba will ever recover from, you know? Because even if he wanted to end the animosity, then there's a way to do it. You don't go in there for positions, for money, and for exchange of power. It should have been about what do we do for the people of this nation? How do we shift things and make life better for this nation? If Baba went in there and was discussing matters to do with budget cuts, things to do with austerity measures, where are we overspending? Yes, we hear this country has a debt. What is this debt all about? How can we deal with this mammoth in the house, audit these public debts? How can we reduce government wastage and expenditure? If that was the discussion going therein, then maybe people could have seen that there is a purpose in here. But here we are today, almost 6, 7 months later, and Baba was proposed to go to the AU, and many people felt that he was simply being gotten rid of so that local politics cannot be within his domain. And so people started praying, pushing, and campaigning, even canceling Baba against that. Stay here and fight for us, which is reason number two. Many people felt like with Baba still in the local politics, the current regime will not have a free highway to oppress us because Baba will not tolerate that. And that is what Baba has been known for. But today, Baba is balancing on the pivot and is sort of like wobbling because he bites with one hand, but again soothes with the other hand. And that is who Baba has come, such that he's even being called a broker, you know. And this is not a broker like what Kofi Annan did for us in 2007 after the post-election violence. Baba brokes to benefit himself. Baba brokes to gain himself. Unfortunately, that is the public perception. So how then can Baba redeem himself into his retirement? Because many people were like, if he gets the AU seat, it's good for his retirement. But Kenyans felt like, no, Baba needs to stay here and make sure the house is cleaned up. He's just one person. Whether he can do it himself or he can mobilize his team to do it, people have very, very high expectations of Baba. And I've heard many people again blame Baba, and I'm like, we are just voters. It is Baba and his team to have made sure that they won. So it is not that Baba was never given the numbers. I believe so many people voted for Baba. So many votes came in for this guy. But the finishing at the top office is where the problem was. And he always kept on losing. But even if you keep on losing, you cannot lose so many times by doing the same thing. You cannot do something the same way every 5 years and expect a different result. Is Baba a perfectionist? Is Baba a person who doesn't like corruption? Maybe. He wanted to be the first person, maybe in Africa, to win a presidential seat without any undue influence, without corruption, without any manipulation. So that once you sit on that seat without such corruption, then you can have the audacity and the authority to turn around and shift things. Maybe that is what he's ever wanted, but he's never gotten the opportunity to hack that sort of a strategy. Baba wanted to win clean and to win smart, assuming that that is what Baba ever wanted. So he's not gotten it. The country is not better today, and he is going down the wrong way on building his legacy. Does Baba know this? Does he have intelligence around him? Does he have people around him who are telling him these kind of things so that he can finish well what he started? Even if he doesn't become a president, there are certain things that you can deal with and handle that people will realize, yes, they did not allow him to ascend to presidency, but this man has made a powerful impact in how the affairs of a country are running. And that would be my call to Baba. That Baba, Agwambo, Raila, the Enigma, whatever it is, you can finish strong. You have a legacy, if at all it matters to you, to protect. Talk what matters most to this country. Talk on abductions. Talk on health. talk on education, talk on budgetary expenses and budgetary cuts, so that we will not, as a third world nation in Africa, have a budget of 4.2 trillion and only 700 is earmarked for development. What would that do? That is what Baba should talk about. Because I look around, and to find another person who will be called Baba in the entire country, which is so deeply tribal, Baba, you made us proud. I do not see any other person who will ever come close to being called Baba by everyone in the country. You hacked that name. It will forever be your legacy. But you decide whether you finish strong or you disappear and people hate you for the rest of life. By the end of the day, it's your pocket, it's your family, it's your future. The nation will move on. Whether we go to the dogs or we go to the skies, something will happen. But what do you want that something to be? It is our time to pick up leadership and change this nation and pull it up from the sharks, from the dogs, from the terrorists, from the people who are bringing this nation down. Kenya is such a powerful country, such a centrally positioned country with a hardworking population, and it is looked at as the Silicon Savannah, the heart of Africa, that should have been able to achieve bigger, better, and greater things. But for lack of visionary leadership, Kenya is going down. Do we know it? Do these people see it? Maybe they are blinded by their own thuggery and theft, hunger, corruption, and that's all. They do not see beyond their pockets, their bank accounts, and all that. And that is why this country today is going bankrupt. We can do better, we can shift things, we can change things. Baba, will you be in that equation? Or you will be out of it? Either way, we are here to make Kenya better, and we will do it. Thank you so much. We look forward to greater things. Kenya is an amazing nation. It will change, it will transform, it will shift to become what it needs to be. It is our time to make Kenya successful, powerful, and centrally located to be an economic hub in this region. Kenya, all the best.